If this story moved you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more powerful stories.
Fortunes and fractures. Marion Harper had always believed that her life was ordinary, predictable, and manageable. At 58, she had a modest home in a quiet suburb, a stable job as a librarian, and a daughter she adored, Emily. From the moment Emily was born, Marion poured her heart into raising her, sacrificing nights of sleep, personal ambitions, and even friendships to ensure her daughter had every opportunity. She often told herself it was worth it, and for the most part, she had never regretted a single decision. But ordinary lives have a way of shattering in the blink of an eye. It started with a letter, delivered by a lawyer whose name Marion barely recognized. The letter stated that Emily, now 28, had inherited a staggering $33 million from a distant relative, an eccentric great-uncle who had always been a mystery in the family. The sum was so large, it seemed unreal. For days, Marion could barely process it. She felt a swelling pride, but also a subtle, creeping unease. When Emily called to share the news, her voice carried a mixture of exhilaration and something else, something Marion couldn't quite place. "Mom, can you believe it? $33 million, Emily squealed. I don't even know what to do first." "That's wonderful, honey. I'm so proud of you," Marion said, trying to match her daughter's enthusiasm. But there was a faint tremor in Emily's voice, one that Marion would later recognize as the beginning of something dark. In the following days, Emily's behavior changed. She became distant, secretive, and impatient with Marion's well-meaning advice. The mother-daughter bond they had nurtured for decades began to fray. One evening, as Marion visited Emily in her new luxury apartment, she noticed the subtle signs, the expensive furniture, the guarded eyes, the air of entitlement. "Mom, I think I need some space," Emily said softly, avoiding eye contact. I need to handle this on my own." Marion's heart sank, but she nodded. "I understand, Emily, but remember, I'm always here for you." 3 days later, the unthinkable happened. Emily, in a fit of impulsive independence, asked Marion to leave. She said it was time for her to live her life without her mother hovering, a claim that cut Marion deeper than any blade could. In those 3 days, Marion had experienced an emotional earthquake: pride, excitement, confusion, and now, utter heartbreak. She packed a small bag and returned to her modest home, feeling the weight of betrayal pressing down on her. The first week was the hardest. Marion wandered through her home in a daze, haunted by memories of Emily's childhood laughter, of bedtime stories, of scraped knees she had bandaged herself. She tried to rationalize Emily's actions, telling herself that perhaps this was part of growing up, a rite of passage. But the sting of rejection lingered, and sleep became a stranger. Meanwhile, Emily's world, gilded with wealth, began to unravel in ways she had not anticipated. She purchased a sleek sports car that gleamed under the city lights and invested in designer clothes that promised status and admiration. But with every extravagant purchase, she discovered that wealth did not equate to happiness. Friends who once seemed genuine now expected favors, and acquaintances who had ignored her before now flattered her for their own gain. Emily found herself increasingly isolated, craving the comfort and unconditional love that only Marion had ever provided. 3 weeks later, a series of bad decisions culminated in a personal disaster. Emily's new apartment had a kitchen fire, quickly spreading to the living room. While she managed to escape physically unharmed, the incident destroyed her possessions and left her financially strained in unexpected ways. Her lavish insurance policy covered some damages, but the stress of navigating contractors, claims, and bureaucracy was overwhelming. For the first time, Emily felt utterly powerless. With her pride battered and her confidence shattered, Emily turned to the one person she had pushed away, the person whose wisdom, care, and presence she had taken for granted. She called Marion, her voice breaking, trembling with fear and desperation. "Mom, I need you, please," she whispered. Marion, who had spent weeks grappling with her own anger and hurt, felt an old, familiar rush of love. She hesitated, remembering the pain of being thrown out, but she couldn't abandon her daughter in the moment of genuine need. She drove to Emily's apartment, heart pounding, uncertainty gnawing at her. When she arrived, the sight of Emily, disheveled, teary-eyed, and apologetic, hit her like a physical blow. Without a word, Marion stepped inside, her instincts taking over. She cleaned, organized, and helped Emily navigate the aftermath of the fire. For days, she stayed, guiding Emily with the gentle authority of a mother who had weathered life's storms. As they worked together, something remarkable began to happen. Emily started to see the depth of Marion's love in a new light. The wealth that had once seemed like a ticket to independence now appeared fragile, inconsequential in comparison to the unshakable support of family. Emily apologized, tears flowing freely, for her impatience, her arrogance, and her harsh words. "I was foolish, Mom," she said one night, voice choked with emotion. "I thought money could replace everything. I thought I could do it all alone, but I see now I was wrong." Marion, holding her daughter close, finally allowed herself to release the pent-up emotions of the past weeks. "Money is never a replacement for love, Emily. You don't have to face life's storms alone. You never did." From that moment on, their relationship transformed. Emily, humbled by her experiences, learned to navigate wealth with humility and gratitude. She invested not just in material things, but in relationships, understanding that trust, respect, and empathy were far more valuable than any sum of money. Marion, for her part, realized that love was a force resilient enough to withstand betrayal, pride, and hardship. She had been tested, and though her heart had been bruised, it had not been broken. Together, mother and daughter rebuilt not just Emily's apartment, but their bond, stronger and wiser than before. In time, Emily used her fortune to create opportunities for others, scholarships, charitable foundations, and programs that supported families in crisis. She understood now that wealth carried responsibility, and the lessons learned through fire, both literal and metaphorical, shaped her into a compassionate, grounded woman. Marion watched her daughter grow into a leader not because of her money, but because of her character. And in those quiet moments, when they sat together in the apartment, sharing a simple meal or reminiscing about the past, Marion felt a profound sense of peace. The world outside remained unpredictable, often harsh and full of challenges, but within the walls of their renewed home, love had triumphed. They had been tested, thrown apart, and yet in the end they had found each other again, unbreakable and unwavering. As Marion lay awake one night, listening to the city hum outside the window, she reflected on the journey. Life had a way of teaching its lessons in the most unexpected ways, through wealth, through loss, through the frailty of human pride. But she had learned, most importantly, that no fortune could ever surpass the bond between a mother and her child. And for the first time in weeks, Marion slept soundly, knowing that the foundation they had built together, stronger than gold, richer than money, would endure whatever storms the future might bring.